Can you hear us now?
Hello, and welcome to our presentation, Optimizing Operations, Empowering Nonprofit Staff for Greater Impact with Ron Patterson, Vice President of IT with Project Home, and Daniel Madden, Data Analyst with Project Home. Today, we're going to talk about how Project Home leveraged BOSSDesk to improve their operations and become more efficient using our help desk software. We have almost 60 guests registered for this webinar, and we do appreciate your time and thank you for joining us today. My name is Nicole Benjamin, and I'm the Digital Marketing Coordinator here at Boss Solutions. During our presentation, we will be highlighting how you can use help desk software across your organization to improve processes like how to customize BOSSDesk for nonprofit needs, how to enhance staff support, how to improve communication and collaboration across your organization. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer any questions submitted, and we're going to give away an Amazon gift card. Our presenters today are Ron Patterson and Daniel Madden and Chris Kornkowski. Ron Patterson is a technology executive and visionary leader with over 15 years of experience working with mission-driven organizations. As the Vice President of Information Technology for Project Home, Ron is dedicated to leveraging technology to support seniors and the unsheltered, contributing to the betterment of society. Under Ron's strategic guidance, Project Home has experienced remarkable advancements in utilizing technology to fulfill its mission. Through his leadership, the organization has implemented cutting-edge systems and streamlined processes, ensuring the efficient delivery of services to those in need. With his wealth of experience, educational background, and passion for leveraging technology to serve others, Ron Patterson is an influential voice and an invaluable asset to any organization striving to make a difference in the lives of seniors and people in need. We'll also hear insights from Project Home's IT analyst, Daniel Madden. Daniel has been working with Project Home for just over a year. He graduated from Penn State in 2015 and has previous experience in IT recruiting and medical research industries. Our next presenter is Chris Kornkowski, Senior Support Engineer for BOSSDesk. Today, Chris will showcase areas of BOSSDesk that are relevant to Project Home's success. We do have a few housekeeping notes before we get started today. Just so you know, everyone will be muted throughout the presentation, but we encourage you to ask questions in the Q&A, and we will answer any questions at the end of the presentation. The presentation is being recorded, and we will email a link to all participants of the recording right after the presentation. And because we value your feedback, you'll also receive a very short survey after the presentation. If you would kindly respond with your comments, we would greatly appreciate it. A little bit about Boss Solutions at a glance. We have been in IT service management for over 25 years. We have received numerous awards and been recognized by leading authorities such as Gartner, Software Advice, Capterra, and many others in categories such as Top 20, Front Runner, and Category Leader. Our offerings include BOSSDesk, a support and help desk solution, which is available both on-premise and in the cloud. We also offer Boss 811, a one-call ticket management solution for the damage prevention industry. Boss Solutions is committed to exceeding industry standards with the latest technology. Additionally, we're committed to providing excellent customer support by providing a US-based support team. I'll now open the floor to Ron Patterson and Daniel Madden and allow them to begin to share their experience from Project Home with us.
Thank you so much. Perfect. I really appreciate that warm welcome and appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today. I mean, BOSSDesk has really helped us move the organization forward in ways that we'll go through today. In some ways we can't quite articulate in this presentation, but I will say that when you're looking for a partner, it's not only what the system can provide, but it's the support and flexibility, which is very important to us. Just in the way of introductions, my name is Ron Patterson. I am the Vice President of Information Technology for Project Home. And today we're going to talk about empowering how we leverage BOSSDesk, not only to empower our staff, but to move the organization forward. So what I'm excited to talk to you about today is not only BOSSDesk ticketing system, but the incident reporting system. Also, I'd like to explain a little bit about Project Home. We'll talk about challenges, how we customize the system to meet our need, not just for IT, but the entire organization. We'll discuss the enhanced staff support, streamlining workflows, and we'll go through, my colleague Dan will go through and actually show you some screenshots and take you through some workflows that we're currently using to move the organization forward. So Project Home is a nationally recognized organization that provides housing opportunities for employment, medical care, education to unsheltered and low-income persons in Philadelphia. The work of Project Home is rooted in the belief that the dignity of each person and the transformational power of building relationships in a community. So we truly believe in the community and how it can help people at risk or in need. Project Home is a vision-centered organization that believes that none of us are home until all of us are home. The mission of Project Home is to empower adults, children, and family to break the cycle of homelessness and poverty, to alleviate the underlying causes of poverty, and to enable all of us to attain our fullest potential as individuals and members of the broader society. We strive to create a safe, respectful environment where we support each other in our struggles for self-esteem, recovery, and the confidence to move towards self-actualization. So you may wonder, Project Home has been in existence for almost 35 years. What is our impact? What have we been able to accomplish? So just to provide, a few highlights of our impact last year, we were able to house over 1,100 residents. We have 94% of those residents that continue with us, excuse me, after year one. In our education program, we've experienced a 40% increase in enrollment in post-secondary, GED, and professional certification programs. Our medical practice served over 26,000 patients last year, while our dental practice treated almost 5,000 patients. Our education services have a 100% graduation rate, high school graduation rate, and 88% graduation rate from post-secondary programs. Our outreach centers have served over 28,000 meals last year and provided over 6,000 showers, as well as providing shelter in those extreme weather events, whether it's extremely hot or cold. We see over 19,000 guests in our center each year. So as I began my journey with Project Home over 2 years ago, and when we started looking for a solution, we had certain items that were core to who we are and what we want to accomplish in IT. I'm just going to take a few minutes to just share a little bit about our mission and how BOSSDesk helped achieve that. So in IT, our mission is to enable our organization to achieve its strategic objectives by providing reliable, innovative, and secure technology solutions. We strive to ensure that our systems are scalable, adaptable, easy to use, empowering our employees to work efficiently and effectively. We're committed to leveraging the latest advancements in technology to continuously improve our processes and services while maintaining the highest standards of cybersecurity and data privacy. Our goal is to be a trusted partner to our colleagues, enabling them to leverage technology to achieve their program goals. I say all this and share this because this last piece of being a trusted partner. In IT, there are several opportunities to introduce technology, and making sure you introduce the right partner to your organization is vital in gaining trust and adoption of a new program. And we were fortunate to have that success with BOSSDesk. And being an organization that has housing opportunities, employment, medical, we essentially in IT are responsible for supporting and maintaining systems for 5 different lines of business. So I'm sure it's not a unique challenge. I'm sure most nonprofits kind of wear multiple hats and have to address issues and challenges across the organization. But it was really important that we find a partner that we could trust to help us, and it was flexible, because as we look at the challenges we were facing, we had to manage staff and volunteer questions. And it's not just full-time, part-time. We have doctors, dentists, nursing assistants, volunteer at risk. We have a mobile unit. So making sure we had a solution that was flexible to meet all the needs of the organization was extremely important. The ability to prioritize and categorize issues. We have, and like I'm sure most organizations have, there's training questions, right? There's business critical issues, a system going down. We have mission critical issues where there's an event at a location and we need to deploy staff immediately. And unfortunately, dealing with people at risk, we have life-threatening situations where it is vital for us to respond as quickly as possible. So I'm sure most organizations have very similar situations, but the flexibility of the system to meet all the unique needs and categorize the issues in a way, or questions, I should say, in a way that made it useful was extremely important to us. Also, tracking and monitoring. Before BOSSDesk, our requests or issues all went to one place, our inbox. And as busy individuals, it's understandable where if something goes to the inbox, it's not addressed immediately or flagged, it could get lost, right? And as a supervisor or manager, having that visibility and ability to track issues, monitoring those, to understand what your team is facing, resolve their roadblocks so they can work more effectively is extremely important. Collaboration and internal communication. We have new hires that touch multiple departments from, finance, accounting, HR. So ensuring that we had workflows and a process that we could leverage to ensure that each department is notified and we have an audit trail to track new hires through our ecosystem was extremely important. SLA and performance metrics, it was important, not just for me, but as we talked on the exec team, to have a solution where we could provide standard metrics for the whole organization, right? So if you had a question, we wanted to make sure that each department got back to that person in a specified amount of time. So having SLAs for each department, and we even took it to a step further. Based on the ticket, there were certain SLAs that we asked each department to follow, made us more accountable to the people we serve. That way we ensure that we're getting back to staff, residents, participants as quickly as possible, and we have the data to track it. And that led into the next step, knowledge-based creation and self-service. We really believe in teaching someone how to fish, right? So based on our tickets, we analyze our tickets to determine commonalities so that we could build out a knowledge base to support that. But also we worked on a system and developed a system that we could serve up answers as quickly as possible. And if not, if we couldn't address it or the information we provided didn't address the issue, a means for us to allow someone to raise their hand and say, I need additional support, or that wasn't enough. I'll talk about that in the upcoming slide, what we do in particular in IT to support that. Automation and workflows. Dan will talk about more as we go through this presentation around automation and workflows. But it was very helpful to use BOSSDesk because it gave us the ability to customize, not based on the organization, but at a department level. We were able to make sure that each department has their own policies, procedures, and the flexibility of BOSSDesk to allow workflows to meet their needs really helped us turn this from an IT solution to a Project Home solution. So when we talk about customization for nonprofit needs, I'm just going to highlight 4 examples here, but I could go on and on about the different ways we customize the system and the support that we receive from BOSSDesk around these customizations. Because again, it's not just the system has the flexibility, but it's knowing that you're working with a partner that has your interest at heart is extremely important. So when we talk about streamlining workflow processes for human resources, an example of this is our HR department quickly moved to BOSSDesk after IT, but they have unique requests, right? Some of their requests need to be handled discreetly or confidential. And the ability to build workflows where a ticket comes in and it's not visible to, it's not visible to necessarily everyone in the human resources department, just select individuals was extremely important to them. And we were very happy with the way we were able to build those out to support our HR department. Improving communications and collaboration. In finance, we were able to work with the finance department to address some immediate questions or concerns when it comes to budgeting. We all have to go through the budgeting process, and approvals were handled many different ways, but we work with finance to create a process where approvals went through BOSSDesk so that they were resolved quickly. The individual departments or individuals were aware when they were approved or if they were approved. So it made it very simple and straightforward as an organization to transition our budget process into BOSSDesk, a portion of our budget process into BOSSDesk. Enhancing staff support. So with IT, I mentioned this earlier. We had, when I first joined the organization, you could interact with IT one of two ways. You could pick up the phone and call us, or you could send us an email. And the email went into a group mailbox, and the only way we knew an issue was resolved is if we removed it from the inbox. So what we did was we took a step back and said, how can we best support our organization? We know our staff is busy. They submit tickets or they submit requests. Sometimes we could reach them, sometimes we had to wait. And we played a lot of phone tag. So what we were able to do was to create a process in the system where if they had a question and it was something that we felt confident that we could potentially resolve with a one-pager, when they went through BOSSDesk and raised their hand and said they had a question, that one-pager would be presented to them. If it didn't address their question or they had another one, we had a second level built in where they could actually book an appointment with us, so that we didn't waste our time or waste their time trying to schedule back and forth. We sent them a link, they could schedule an appointment with us, and it made it very simple. And that little, the ability to kind of self-serve information or allow them to raise their hand if we didn't answer their question, made a huge difference when it came to the time it took to resolve issues. Because some of our staff, are on the front line, so they don't always have time to sit in front of a computer and address a question or concern when it comes up. So giving them the flexibility to reach back out to us and assign a time that we can meet with them was a game changer. Lastly, incident reporting with data analytics. Unfortunately, incidents happen in our line of work, and the ability to track, analyze, and provide feedback to the exec team, to our funders, to help them create a picture of what's going on is a huge advantage, especially when it comes to funding and helping us resolve issues in a timely manner. So we're really excited about incident reporting and what that will allow us to leverage going forward. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dan to spend more time talking to you about streamlining workflows and go a little more in depth in what we do at Project Home.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dan Madden, and I am a business analyst here at Project Home. As they mentioned, I've worked here for a little over a year, and working in BOSSDesk is a major part of my week and workflow. So I wanted to talk first a little about streamlining our workflow processes, how BOSSDesk has helped us. As Ron touched on, as an organization, we have a very diverse array of departments and employees. We have everything from medical professionals to accounting professionals to on-the-ground social workers. So as you can imagine, we have a multitude of issues that come up, and BOSSDesk has been an integral part of keeping our workflows operating as efficiently as possible. The SLA management has increased timeliness and accountability for us as an organization. The automatic ticket routing and assignment has increased our overall efficiency. Due to how customizable it is, we've actually been able to move our company-wide incident reporting system into BOSSDesk, which I'll be touching on later in this PowerPoint. And we are able to have our tickets generated via automatic emails from our new HRIS system, which has helped streamline various processes within Project Home. An example of which would be property collection when an employee is terminated, which was formerly kind of a trouble point for us, and BOSSDesk has really helped us with that. Next slide, please. So this is just kind of a macro look of our service catalog in BOSSDesk. As you can see, we have 100 different forms spread out across 9 different categories. So you can imagine how many emails this is saving each individual on a daily basis, and how it is centralizing all of our data to help drive our processes. If you could, next slide, please, Ron. And now here's more of a micro look at our IT service catalog. So just as a team that, as Ron mentioned before, it was just an email box. Now we have everything in BOSSDesk. So everything from our printers and copiers to things as simple as a password reset, to new hires and position changes that we're managing are all in one place. It's much easier for us to keep count for who has projects due, who has an item due, etc. Next slide, please. So BOSSDesk has really helped us improve our communication and collaboration. Namely, our ability to comment in real time has helped increase the transparency of whose input is going in when with various projects or on various help desk tickets. It centralizes the communication within all projects and tasks and kind of gives you a live look at exactly how things are unfolding. Similarly and related, the automated notifications and alerts that come out of BOSSDesk are great in keeping people just friendly reminders. Hey, you have this due. This is coming up onto an SLA violation, and keeps every project moving. The ability to have watchers automatically added has increased collaboration on various workflows and processes. So being able to have a watcher who's, not necessarily a designated agent on the task at hand, but someone you just need to have visibility of said task has been incredibly helpful to us. The ability to facilitate document collection for various forms has centralized the document process on various processes. We have a ton of different ongoing processes that have contracts with different properties, and it is great to be able to account for all of them in one spot. Mobile access allows all of our employees to collaborate and communicate whilst on the go. So being able to have people have access to the BOSSDesk ticketing system on their cell phones has been incredibly helpful. Next slide, please. So for enhancing staff support, we've been able to increase our support for staff in numerous ways in BOSSDesk. As mentioned, it's created a centralized help desk for our staff to submit tickets across various departments. The dashboards have made it simple for prospective agents to customize the information they need to quickly view and digest. So instead of going into a cluttered email inbox, they can simply bring up their dashboard and see exactly what they have on their plates for any given week. It's given individuals the ability to see all their outstanding tasks and tickets in one centralized spot, which has increased our organization. The ability to customize all forms and utilizing mandatory fields ensures agents are receiving all pertinent information needed to complete tasks and tickets, which has increased our efficiency. And then customizable reporting has increased our ability to find and address different trends within Project Home and really drive how we improve these processes. Next slide, please. So for our data analytics and reporting, BOSSDesk has really been invaluable. As mentioned, we've been able to move our entire incident reporting system over into BOSSDesk. And for a company with such a diverse array of issues that come up, being able to take trending data out of this incident reporting system is really going to help drive process changes within Project Home. The ad hoc analysis in BOSSDesk is simple due to the ability to customize the data you are pulling. So the SLA analysis captures area where our support needs to be improved, and the ability to utilize the custom fields as a reporting field makes it possible to capture any data piece we need from a ticket, which I'll be showing on the upcoming slides. Next slide, please. So this is just a look at one custom field that we're utilizing, which is for our severity level in our incident reporting. So as you can see, it's kind of cut off here, but highlighted as severity level. And this is for all tickets that if we wanted to see were of critical impact. Next slide, please. You'd be able to pull a report using the custom reporting to the left, that we can bring in severity level as a column. We can filter for wherever severity level is of critical impact. And then to the right, you can see the report that would be generated showing us all tickets with critical impact, which is going to be invaluable to us as an organization as we look to improve our processes moving forward. Thank you. Next slide.
All right, so thank you, Ron and Daniel. Before we go into Q&A, by the way, this is Chris Kornkowski. I'm one of the senior support engineers here at Boss Solution. And I'm just going to take over the screen for a few minutes to show you guys in practice within the BOSSDesk system itself, how some of the functionalities that that our panelists have mentioned work in a test system, just so that you can see how easy it is to use this functionality in your organization. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So this is our Boss demo instance. So when you're looking for an overview of tickets that are in your system right away, we have the ability to customize your dashboards to view ticket metrics in real time. So I can see a breakdown of ticket priority distribution right now. If I need to go look at what these urgent tickets are, I can just click on that urgent tag there, and I can see the specific tickets that are flagged as urgent. You can also customize and create your own widgets so that you can view whatever data you need to keep track of. Now, another main portion of the system that they are using is the service catalog. So we do offer you a set of templates out of the box. But within the system itself, we have the ability to come in here and edit service catalogs. So if you come in and you want to edit a specific service catalog item, you can update the name easily. You can upload a custom icon. Short and long description can be edited optionally. You can create forms that are only visible to certain people within certain business units in your organization. And then you can also create approval requirements on forms as well. The forms themselves are easily editable. You can just drag and drop whatever you would like. You can also create data sets that can be used for drop downs in these forms as well. Additionally, these forms can also be used to trigger workflows later on. So if, for instance, you want to create a flag for emergencies, you can have that trigger an additional workflow that notifies people about that emergency as well. For adding new fields or customizing the existing fields, you just pick what kind of field you want, drag and drop it. This system is actually very easy for your end users to use as well. So if I go to the requester view, your end users have a very simplified view of the system. They have the ability to view their currently pending tickets and add comments to them as needed. If they are a watcher, they can view the tickets they are currently watching and add comments on those. If they are an approver, they can view their currently pending approvals and they can approve or deny those requests right there. They can access the service catalog, and we have the ability to organize it into a very easy to navigate and access set of forms. So if I want to look at the HR forms, I can do that because I'm an admin. If I want to go into some of the basic IT forms, I can look at those. And then I also have access to the knowledge base. Now, the knowledge base is a great way for you to reduce your workload by including guides on how to solve common issues. These can have embedded images, videos, links, tables, whatever you feel like you need to illustrate your guides. And you can also edit these in your document editor of choice. So you don't need to edit it within our editor. You can also use Microsoft Word or Google Docs, as long as you are using the web-based version of those programs. You can then take any work or documents you edit in those editors and copy and paste them directly into your knowledge base without any loss of formatting or data. So we try to make it as easy as possible to do the knowledge base the way you would like to do it. Now, additionally, we have recently offered the ability to integrate ChatGPT into our system. So it can provide basic responses to basic types of IT questions and things like that. Of course, IT is not the only way you can use BOSSDesk, but you can restrict it to specific types of questions that ChatGPT can answer. And you can have it answer some questions for you. So that's an option that you have available as well. Now, another thing that they mentioned was the ease of prioritization of tickets and the SLAs and granularity that comes along with that. So for tickets as they come in, you can create specific forms that have boxes like, is this an emergency or something like that. You can also create specific forms that are always an emergency. Whichever way you choose to do it, you can come over here to your workflows and you can define a workflow that says when a ticket is created, if it matches a specific condition, then we want to automatically set the priority to an urgent priority. We may also want to send out an additional email. So we can do something like email user. And then we can create a template to send an email to a specific person. If you were to use our external integrations engine, which we do through Zapier, you could even send a text to somebody after hours if there's somebody who needs to be notified about a specific type of emergency. So you can make sure that things that are critical business issues always get to the person who needs to hear about them as soon as humanly possible. So we also have, we also have the SLAs themselves. So within the SLA, you can come in and define, based on the priority of the ticket, how much time your techs have to respond to and resolve a particular issue before it starts sending out notifications to remind them or notifying managers. We can also make different SLAs for different types of forms. These can be extremely granular. You can even say, if a specific form is submitted, this is the SLA on that specific form. So you could potentially create SLAs for each individual form that define how much time your techs have to work on that particular type of issue and what happens if it doesn't get resolved on time. So you have a lot of flexibility in terms of making your SLAs apply to the type of request that they're dealing with, regardless of which department it's in. So you can make sure that your IT department has a different SLA than, for instance, your onboarding or your medical department. When you're submitting a ticket, building workflows is actually pretty self-explanatory as well. As I mentioned earlier, you can build workflows based on various different events in the system. So you can not only create essentially routing rules that happen when a ticket is created, you can also create events that trigger when status of the ticket changes, extended status changes, the priority changes, if it's been too long in a certain status or extended status, if an approval request is approved, if a task is completed, requester commented, or the agent commented, anything like that, those can also trigger additional workflows in the system. Workflows have the ability to do all sorts of different useful things, like send out emails, automatically reassign a ticket. They can reclassify tickets, they can add tags, they can add time entries, watchers, whatever you feel like you need. And then we also have the ability to do HR workflows, which can generate task lists. So for instance, you can create a list of tasks that need to be created for somebody being hired into a specific department. And then if that department is selected in the new hire form, which has an option for that. So if I go over here to, for instance, the service catalog, employee, new hire, and we have a department dropdown, based on which department is selected, you could generate a different task list as well. So it can be very useful for onboarding tasks. Additionally, we can request approval in the system. That can be automatic based on the form, but you can also do it ad hoc. If you are reading a ticket and decide that it needs approval, at any time you can decide that you need somebody to sign off on this, and you can request approval from anybody in the system. We don't require any licensing for approvers, so you really can request that anybody you can think of sign off on a particular issue. You can also at any point add additional watchers to a ticket. So when you add a watcher, it will automatically CC them on any additional communications regarding this particular ticket. Another thing that they mentioned was post boxes that were used to take alerts from other systems and generate tickets. That is a functionality that we definitely support in BOSSDesk. So you can create any number of post boxes in the system. We do offer BOSSDesk post boxes, so essentially post boxes that are generated with your instance, and you can have systems sent to any of these post boxes. You can make as many of them as you want, but you can also connect BOSSDesk to existing mailboxes that you have within your organization. So we can connect to like Exchange servers or any other SMTP, IMAP, any of that. But we also connect via the Exchange protocol and whatever authorized authentication method you need. And then any email sent to one of these post boxes can have their own custom routing. So if, for instance, you've got a dedicated post box for a specific reporting system, it can automatically make sure that the reports coming from that system are assigned to the right category and the right team as soon as they arrive. So for instance, I can go in here and define the category and team that every ticket is routed to if it comes from this post box. And then as far as reporting on tickets, you have quite a few options there as well. So the one they were talking about the most is the advanced search or list style reports. With those, you define a set of filters that define the items you are looking for, and you can define a set of columns, which is the data you'd like to see in those items. You can then either apply that to run it once or save it so that you can run it whenever you want. Additionally, you can then export that data to a CSV file, which you can then load into external report generation engines like Power BI or Excel. If you want to visualize that data in a specific way so that you can bring it up in a meeting, we do allow that data to be exported so that you can use it there as well. Additionally, for our more advanced users, we offer an API that you can use to tie those systems to the data directly. And then you can also export the data to a PDF if you just need a list of items as well. We do offer some basic visualization reports that you can use if you need them. So for instance, this one gives you breakdowns of tickets by category, priority type, source, team, assignee, extended status, and group. And then we also have reports based on, agent summaries, team summaries, satisfaction survey summaries, ticket timesheet summaries, ticket aging summaries, how long on average your tickets are staying open, ticket SLA summaries, which tell you, if you've gotten any problems in any departments. Requester summaries, first contact resolution, reopen ticket summary, and close ticket timelines. So with these functionalities, you can really leverage all of these systems to help get the most out of your experience with your help desk system and help improve the efficiency of your organization. So that's the basics of what I had to cover today in relation to what was discussed in the presentation. So at this point, I'm going to allow somebody else to share their screen. Ron, if you want to go ahead and share your screen again, we can open up the floor to questions, and you can ask me, you can ask them, you can ask any of us questions.
That was great. Thank you so much, Ron, Dan, and Chris. I think we all just learned a new point of view and have a fresh perspective on utilizing BOSSDesk. So as Chris mentioned, next we do have a few questions that were submitted. Please feel free to also use this time to submit any questions you have using the Q&A box, and we'll make sure that you get your questions answered right away during this webinar. So our first question is for you. I'm going to direct this straight to you, Ron. What was the biggest problem that you had to overcome when you were implementing BOSSDesk?
This will sound like a sales pitch, but I think the biggest problem we had to overcome was slowing down the organization. Multiple departments kind of raised their hands. So when we started with BOSSDesk, the idea was always to integrate it into the entire organization. But we took the approach that we partnered with each department to show them the capabilities of the system. We asked them what their pain points were and what they would like to see in the system. And very quickly, with the help of your team, we were able to build out and answer some of those and build out use cases. So unfortunately, our biggest problem was slowing down the organization and only rolling out one department at a time. And we did that intentionally because we wanted to make sure that when we rolled it out, they understood how to use the system, how to support, how to respond in a timely manner. And we just wanted to make sure that that every department gave the exact same experience to the people we serve.
Makes sense. Thank you so much for that answer and information. We have a question submitted by Michael Healy. Michael, thank you so much for joining our webinar today. Mike's question is, how does the system track time spent on a particular ticket? And whoever wants to answer that can jump in.
So I can probably answer that one. So the system can track time spent on a particular ticket because we allow the logging of timesheets. So you can your technicians would fill out those timesheets, and you do have the option to make it so that they can't close tickets until they filled out their timesheets. And those timesheets can be logged to either the main ticket as a whole, or you can log time to an individual subtask if you have a larger ticket like an onboarding task that has multiple subtasks. You can then log a timesheet to a specific subtask rather than the whole ticket. So that's how and then we can run reports later on how much time was spent by technician, by category, and so on. So hopefully that answers your question.
I think so. That was direct. If not, Michael, feel free to follow up with another question if you need more details there. The next question, I'm going to circle right back around to you, Ron, is how long did it take to implement, or Ron and Dan, because I'm talking about everything that you both have shown us today. How long did it take you guys to implement it all?
I would say it took several months to implement everything, and it was only because we're very intentional about the process. And you guys were great. You were ready to go, but we just wanted to make sure that each department understood the system inside and out before we moved on to the next one. So IT was the main driver with the support of BOSSDesk in rolling it out to each department. And we followed a process where we went through a discovery process with each department, understand what's their current workflows, what they would like to see differently, what are their pain points, what are their, what questions do they receive, and how can we provide support, and how could they provide support for the organization. So long answer to say that it took several months, but for you, I'd say it would vary, but you can move as quickly or as slowly as you want. The team is awesome with supporting you as you roll out the system.
I like what you said. You said it took several months, but they were intentional. So that's very good there. I'm always curious, Ron, how did management react to the changes that you guys implemented?
Good question. So management was on board. We um, didn't, when I started, everything hit our inbox. And, I spent some time meeting with the exec team to just share and explain the value of pulling questions, concerns out of the inbox and putting them into a centralized location
Right.
where we could support the team in clearing up roadblocks. If there's a question or concern that they needed our support, we had visibility into that question so we could clear up those roadblocks, as well as the reporting and analytics. So we personally, I leveraged the amount of tickets that we received to convince the the rest of the exec team to approve additional positions for IT, simply because we had the data to support it. We have X amount of tickets coming in. We if and we use the scenario, if 20% of the team was addressing issues, then we would have X amount of individuals that weren't receiving the support they needed. And it was really helpful to have the data to back the request. So to answer your question, I think once once I explained the use case and provided them with a few examples, they were on board and they were excited about the visibility, the tracking, and the analytics that BOSSDesk provides.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your explanation there, Ron. I also want to ask you, this is my last question. You guys, unless you have another question, you have time to submit those in the Q&A. You still have a few more moments there. For now, Ron, do you have any future plans to achieve any other improvements or expanding BOSSDesk any further across your company?
Yes, great question. I mean, when we went through the selection process and landed on BOSSDesk, it was important for us to find an organization that would help us, not only an organization, but a good partner to help us future-proof this solution. In IT, change is sometimes difficult, right? And switching vendors. So the ability to work with BOSSDesk to look at what's coming down the pike. I mean, Chris discussed ChatGPT and AI. To me, that's a great example of how we're going to partner to leverage new and emerging technology to help solve problems faster, right? The ability to have AI read or crawl our how-tos and our support materials so that someone can ask a question, ask ChatGPT a question and receive an immediate answer, and not necessarily have to read through a one-pager or watch a video, I think is exciting. And then just the capabilities of looking at the capabilities of AI in the future. So I really applaud you guys for being one of the early adopters of this technology and integrating it into your solution. I think it's going to I don't know what all AI will be able to accomplish, but this initial rollout when it comes to the knowledge base, I think it's going to be extremely helpful and powerful for our organization.
It's very exciting, the world of AI and what that's opening up for us. Thank you so much for that compliment, Ron. And just thank you again to you, to Dan, and to Chris for taking the time and explaining those answers for all the questions that we've had so far today. I do want to confirm, or I want you guys to note that the slide deck will be available after this call. The recording will be available on our YouTube channel and on our website under the resource tab so that you guys can access that on demand at any time. We would now like to announce the winner of our $50 Amazon gift card. The winner today is, let's see if I can pronounce this correctly, Ray Umali, if I'm pronouncing that properly. Ray is with Harris County Managed Assigned Counsel. And I want to say congratulations to you. I hope that you find something special to use that on. For now, if there are no further questions for Ron or Dan or Chris for today's webinar, our entire BOSS team would like to thank Ron, Dan, and each of our guests who joined us today. We invite you to contact us with any additional questions that you may have, and please respond to our survey with your feedback about today's webinar. Thanks again for your attendance, and we hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day.